Welcome to Allies or Enemies. Today we are talking about Monkey Palace. Our copy was provided for review, but the thoughts are all our own. Monkey Palace is a 2 to 4 player game designed by David Gordon and Tam, and it is made of Lego. In Monkey Palace, you are competitively building a Lego brick jungle, collecting cards, and creating an engine that will get you more bricks to build more jungle ruins and allow that monkey to climb even higher. But how exactly does that work? Let's take a look.
You start the game with an empty board and a few bricks, and on your turn you use your bricks to build columns and arches that will make up your jungle ruins. You always build starting from an empty stud on the ground and then create a staircase, always climbing upwards. When you run out of bricks or space, you check your starting spot and place a matching colored decoration at the top of your staircase. Then it's the card phase. You count up the number of arches you used and add one if you place the highest decoration of a color. Then you spend that many points on any cards that match your starting stud. Some of these cards get you immediate bricks. Some gain you bricks at the end of a round. All of them score you endgame points. Then you get all of the bricks that you're delivered for the end of the round. And finally, you check to see if you qualified for a bonus card or a trophy card. Then it's the next player's turn. The game ends when there are no more of one of the types of bricks. Then you add up points from your monkey cards, your bonus cards, and your trophy cards, and whoever has the most points is the winner.
A lot of the replayability here comes from this being a quick, abstract building game that will obviously have a slightly different puzzle, but there are also a few other bits built in. First of all, there are 4 different jungle floors, and each one will make the puzzle a bit different, especially the one that splits things into 4 quadrants. Also, there are 2 optional trophies, the butterfly, which always goes on the highest decoration, and the frog, which allows you to take a column but is worth negative points. However, while these are optional, you'll likely end up using them every game. And finally, there is your card engine, which, because cards only get you 3 kinds of resources, can sometimes end up giving you a lot more of one thing, which can make for some creative games.
Obviously, the biggest component here is the Lego. That's the whole hook of the game, and it's official Lego brand Lego, so this is the good stuff. It snaps on and off just the way you remember from your childhood, except by now you've hopefully learned not to leave it on the floor. All of the other stuff is fine as well. The decorations are great, the cards are all clear, the player boards have all the info that you need on them. The one iffy is that the rules may be just slightly tricky for some newer or younger players, but there is a link to an excellent how to play video, so that's a very minor complaint. Otherwise, this is just as Lego as you hope.
We have only played this at 2 players, and it works great at that count. There can be a surprising amount of strategy in trying to build in a way that doesn't leave your opponent with a lot to work with. And competing for the various trophies is pretty cutthroat. Because the game end trigger is always the same, the game length won't change regardless of player count, which means that at more players you may not be able to build up quite as much of an engine. The other difference is that there will be a lot more competition for those trophies. One possible problem, however, is that this game can have a surprising amount of analysis paralysis. We had to institute a rule of once a piece is stuck, it stays stuck to stop unbuilding and rebuilding, which forces players to visualize when it isn't their turn. That will, however, be group dependent, but generally, this game should work well at all counts.
We came into Monkey Palace thinking it would be fun to play with Lego, but expecting more of a kid's game, and we were surprised to find a legitimate abstract game here. Don't get me wrong, this is still quite a light game, but that 10+ age suggestion on the box is about more than not eating the pieces. While older kids will like this, there is something here for folks that want a light game that gives them a chance to build a satisfying 3D puzzle, and of course, an excuse to play with Legos. There is one slight caveat here, however. Folks who have a hard time visualizing or need to make the perfect play may find themselves building and unbuilding and slowing down the game. And finally, I feel like a bit of a wuss for saying this, but my soft, dainty thumbs are not used to those hard Lego corners anymore. But that said, there is a surprisingly interesting game here, and it is satisfying to see that jungle that you built at the end. Plus, who doesn't like Lego? And that is it. Have you played Monkey Palace? What did you think? And what other quote-unquote kids games ended up surprising you? Let us know in the comments, and please do like and subscribe. And hopefully we'll see you all next time for another game.